morning, everybody, and welcome to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Today, for episode 11, we got a lot to talk about regarding Arizona sports. We're going to be starting off with the Cardinals losing 20-13 in the hands of the Detroit Lions. The Cardinals and Commanders Week 4 preview. Cliff Kingsbury returning to Arizona as the Washington Commanders offensive coordinator. The Cardinals could be 3-0 right now. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then next, we're going to be moving on to the Diamondbacks finale against the San Diego Padres as they look to clinch a playoff berth. The Diamondbacks' chances of making the playoffs, as we also have the Atlanta Braves behind our tails. And then lastly, for the Diamondbacks, we're going to be talking about Ryan Nelson and Alec Thomas coming back from injury. And then in our last segment, we'll be talking about the Phoenix Suns bringing back Frank Kaminsky on a training camp invite, and then ASU losing to Texas Tech and U of A taking on Utah tomorrow. Once again, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden. Once again, guys, thank you for just now tuning in to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Yeah, I know I'm doing a morning show. It's pretty much different than what you guys are used to, but I got my coffee with me, so hopefully I wake up a little bit more as I talk about Arizona sports. But before we get to the Arizona sports episode, IE Sports Radio has been around for 10 years, guys, so make sure to follow us on all of our socials, as y'all can see right here. If you missed any of our shows, you guys can check them out on pretty much any of these platforms right here. And then make sure to also check out our website, iesportsradio.com. And then if you would like to buy some merch, also check out the shop as well. And then make sure to check out the custom pages that we have as well. Don't just check out mine, guys. Make sure to check out everybody's if you can. And then make sure to sub up to our YouTube channel, guys. We're trying to grow very fast on YouTube, and we have a bunch of people on here that do amazing shows. So make sure to sub up to the YouTube channel if you can. And make sure to follow me on both of my Twitter accounts, guys. Starting off with my IE Sports Radio account, AZ Sports Zone IE, where I give updates on any team. I retweet any of the news. Currently, right now, I'm doing the Diamondbacks, and sometimes I'll do the Cardinals, this and that, depending on, what I'm doing. But yeah, if you guys want updates on every Arizona team, you guys can just follow me on that account. And then make sure to follow my personal account too, the AZTRL, where I'm brutally honest on all of my teams, talk shit about pretty much any of our rivals. So I'm going to keep saying that because it's hilarious and I enjoy doing it. So if you guys like a little trash talk, make sure to follow me on that account as well. And then make sure to also check out our sponsors, guys, starting off with Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Let me get to the comments real quick. All right. What's up, Chad? How you doing? What's up, Larry? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's what I do. I may sound professional on here, guys, but don't let that fool you. I talk a lot of shit, not just about rivals, but my own team. All right. I'm a realistic fan. I'm not delusional. I don't say we're going to win every week. If my team sucks, I call them out, which is what I'm going to be doing, starting off with this pathetic 1-2 Arizona Cardinals team. But before I do that, guys, we're going to go into a quick sponsor break. So once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are watching the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and Follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Yeah, man, go check out, once again, shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and just shout out to the IE Sports Radio, man. I'm blessed to be a part of it. Every single week I get to come on here and talk Arizona sports. So let me get to Larry's comments before we start. Can we get some Raider hate? Well, yeah, thanks for making my team look even worse by us having the same record as the Panthers. So, yeah, thanks for that, Larry. Really appreciate it. Losing to Andy Dalton. There you go. Yep. There you go. Uh, always do a damn good show. Hey, man, I try, man. I try. I just try to do my best. That's all. That's what I'm here for. That's what I always try to do. So, let's start it off with what I always start off with, which is this damn Cardinals team that I cannot get enough of. So the Cardinals lose 20-13 to the Detroit Lions, and they fall to 1-2. So unfortunately, I was only able to watch the first half. I had to go to work for the second half, so unfortunately, I couldn't watch the second half. But I did watch it on socials a little bit afterwards. So going into the half, from what I saw in the first half, um, Obviously, we kind of saw what was expected. Detroit jumped off to an early lead. Arizona responded. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a touchdown. It looked like it was going to be a high-scoring game. It looked like it was going to be a very good game, which, for the most part it was. But obviously, the thing is, I didn't expect our offense to take a complete down step. I mean, I knew this Lions defense was good coming into this game. I knew it was going to be hard to get to Jared Goff because they had one of the best offensive lines. And for the most part, we held Detroit's offense pretty good in the second half. The first half is when all of it went to crap, but Gannon clearly made adjustments on the defense in the second half, and they picked off Jared Goff once. Dennis Gardeck had a hell of a game. He had a sack and a pick, so um, it's pretty cool that he's having a very good season. Hopefully, he could stay healthy. And it's kind of sad that he's our best defensive lineman right now. I mean, we really need to get help on the D line. There's been so many times where um, we've had a chance to bring down the quarterback and they just escape a sack. Like trade for Hassan Reddick already or something. It's like, or this team should have traded for Matthew Judon. It's just so ridiculous how this team fails to upgrade the defensive line when we really need it. Um, see what else. I mean, all I can really say about the offense is James Conner was very quiet in that game. Like I said, I knew Detroit's defense was good, so I knew we were going to have a hard time. But yeah, James Conner was quiet. We didn't really see a lot of Trey Benson in the game, which continues to piss me off. How this guy does not see the field. I mean, I know James Conner's our starter, but it'd be nice to see the young guys get in there a little bit. Um, Same thing with Greg Dortch. We didn't see him a lot either. I mean, you guys traded away Rondale Moore so this guy could get a boosting start on the offense. Why is he not involved? Why is Kyler Murray consistently chucking the ball to Marvin Harrison? Um, and it happened to start off the second half. Kyler Murray was force feeding the ball to Marvin Harrison, and eventually it led to an interception in the end zone. So you have Michael Wilson, you have Trey McBride, who actually got hurt in that game, but I'll talk about that later. Um, you have Greg Dortch. I mean, you have guys on the offense that you can get involved. And Michael Wilson, I think he was actually our leader in receptions in that game. So I mean, they're getting him involved. It's just he's not making explosive plays. Like it just seems like these defenses are game planning for Marvin Harrison, and it's actually working. And and it really sucks because I mean, I watched the Giants and Cowboys game the other day. Malik Neighbors is like the only guy on the Giants that Daniel Jones can throw to. And I see him consistently making plays, this and that. Even when he's double teamed, I see Malik Neighbors catching so many passes. So it's like it's like you would think that with all the talent that this Cardinals team has, that it would open up, that they game plan for Marvin Harrison Jr., right? You would think that it opens up a lot more options for all the other receivers on this team. And in some ways it is, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not really seeing that. I mean, and Marvin Harrison Jr. coming into week 4, obviously Malik's numbers look a lot better, right? Because he just played a game the other day. But heading into week 4 before the Thursday night game, I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. almost had identical yards to Malik Neighbors in like 15 less catches. So he's made a lot of explosive plays, or I should say a lot of big yard plays. So it's like, why can't we get him involved in just anything other than that, right? So it kind of sucks that I'm not seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. or that we're not seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. involved like a little bit more. It would be nice to see that, especially in the first half. In the second half, it seems like in the first half, Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing good. He's playing out of his mind. But then in the second half, we don't see him ever again. We've seen that the last 2 weeks, and in week 1, we didn't really see it at all. So it's like it heading into this Commanders game, that's something I'd really like to see, is just get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved a lot more. He should have at least 7, 8 catches a game. All right. I don't care if the defense game plans for him. Just Kyler Murray, you have your number one weapon. You did it when DeAndre Hopkins was in Arizona. Find a way to get him the damn ball, for God's sake. It's like same thing with the run game too. James Conner, and listen, it is only one bad game for James Conner. So I mean, against Washington, even though they have a defensive minded head coach, I do feel like he'll turn it around in this next game. All right. But at the end of the day, Detroit, I said this last episode. Detroit has our number. Okay, Detroit owns us. They've owned us for the last decade. All right, Jared Goff has owned us since what 2017, 2016. So, and it's really annoying how Jared Goff consistently beats us every year. It's really annoying at this point. But hopefully, we just don't play Detroit next year. Okay, because if we do, it's just a guaranteed loss at this point. But we lose to Detroit 20-13, and we fall to 1-2. And it's kind of crazy too. Like the Cardinals aren't even playing that bad. They haven't been blown out in any game yet. They've been keeping it close with every opponent that they have. So it's not like we're playing bad. I mean, we're not getting blown out or anything. It's just it's that one mistake that we make that changes the entire outcome of the game. Like it's not like we're playing bad football or anything like that. So, I digress. But speaking of the Commanders, let me move on. Still trying to wake up. All right, so the Cardinals are back at home against the Washington Commanders this week, and they're taking on former ASU quarterback Jaden Daniels, which is going to suck to root against him, but it is what it is. So you guys know the drill. I always start off with the injury report for every single preview, and the Cardinals had a lot more injuries added, after that Lions game. So this is as of yesterday's practice. So Trey McBride is on the concussion protocol still, and he is still not practicing, and he is likely to be out, which is very big in this Commanders game. Tyrus Tonga with a knee injury, still a DMP. Buda Baker, who got hurt against the Lions, he was a full participant in practice with a quad injury, so it's looking like he'll be good to go. Kelvin Beachum with a hamstring issue was actually limited, so we'll see if it gets better for him. Dennis Gardeck with a finger injury, he was a full participant. He'll be good to go. Marvin Harrison Jr. was added with a quad injury, but he was limited. So I wouldn't really take this injury so seriously. I mean, by the looks of it, he should be good to go. He should be able to play, but it's the Cardinals. We always are injured, so what do I know? And then lastly, Dante Stills with a shoulder injury was a full participant, so he should be good to go. And then for the visiting Washington Commanders, guard Sam Cosmi with an Achilles, he was limited. Wide receiver Jamison Crowder with a calf issue, he did not participate yesterday. Defensive end Cleveland Farrell with a knee injury, he was not a participant in practice yesterday. Safety Quan Martin with an elbow issue, who was a full participant. Defensive back Benjamin St. Juste was limited. Defensive back Emmanuel Forbes with a thumb issue was a full participant. And lastly, defensive tackle Jerzon Newton with a foot issue was a full participant, which is another guy I wanted the Cardinals to draft, by the way. So a lot of injuries for both teams. I actually saw on Wednesday that Austin Eckler was on the injury report for Washington, but it looks like he'll be good to go for this game, which is very big because the Commanders played lights out the other week. I know it was the Bengals, and the Bengals suck right now. But that surprised me. I did pick the Bengals for that game. It definitely surprised me. Jane Daniels played out of his mind. Their run game was clicking. I'm pretty sure they had like 3 rushing touchdowns. Zach Ertz, of all people, had a heck of a game as well. Terry McLaurin caught a crazy touchdown. So it's like this Commanders team is something that we should not underestimate. And it's crazy because I thought coming into this season that this game was going to be an easy win. Well, after these first 3 weeks, we're really going to have to fight for this one. We're really going to have to fight for it. Coming into this game, I had talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. Hopefully he can get involved a lot more in this game. It's going to be interesting to see how he does against the Commanders' competitive defense, I guess. Like I said, they have a defensive-minded coach who did very good as a coordinator in Dallas. So we'll see what he can do on the Commanders as the head coach. So, I mean, this game is just it. Like I said this last week. It could go either way. I mean, it's Jane Daniels. He's a dual threat quarterback who we're really gonna have to watch out for. It feels like the Cardinals do not play good against dual threat quarterbacks. We saw that against Josh Allen in Week 1, and now we're taking on Jane Daniels. So this Commanders team is there. It's definitely interesting, right? They're 2-1 right now. When nobody expected them to be. Jane Daniels is looking pretty good so far. He's looking better than Caleb Williams, actually, at least in my opinion. So He's definitely doing his job right now. Their offense clicked last week after a brutal week 2 game against the Giants, even though they still won that. So this Commanders team is interesting, like I said earlier. So this Cardinals team to win, the run game has to be involved a lot more, right? We're known as the run first team, right? So James Conner has got to have a better game. Hopefully, I swear, hopefully, can we just see Trey Benson out there for God's sake? It's like you drafted this guy out of Florida State. He was a good prospect. Can we see him in the backfield a little bit more? I mean, I know he's a rookie. I know he's a number 2, but I mean, it'd be nice to at least see him get a few touches out there to see what he can do, especially if James Conner has another terrible game. What's up, Jay Area Sports? Yep. Doing my thing, man. Hopefully I could get you on my show next week for the Niners and Cardinals, but we'll talk about that another day. So, this, as far as the Cardinals offense goes, I mean, I say this every time. Can we see Marvin Harrison Jr. involved a lot more? If Trey McBride is out, it's the next man up. We may see Greg Dortch involved a lot more. Um, Same thing with Michael Wilson. He had a decent game the other week. Hopefully he could continue that, right? So there's a lot of questions regarding the Cardinals because, obviously we only scored 13 points against Detroit. The Commanders are coming off a very big win against the Bengals, but the Commanders defense did give up, I think it was 33 points or something like that. Um, so this offense can definitely score points on the board, right? If our defense can stay off the field, if our defense could keep giving Kyler Murray the ball, then take advantage of that, right? That's something we didn't do last week, and it's something that continues to like confuse me, right? Whenever our defense plays bad, our offense finally scores. Whenever our defense finally gets off the field, whenever our defense makes a play, this offense does not want to respond. It's like, can you just do the right thing already? But anyway, so something I want to talk about, right? Something I need to talk about is Cliff Kingsbury returning to Arizona. So if you guys have lived in Arizona for the last 5 years, if you guys have been a Cardinals fan the last 5 years, if you guys have watched every Cardinals game for the last 5 years, this game is somewhat personal for y'all in some way, as it is for me, right? So Cliff Kingsbury came out and said, "There's no bad blood with the Cardinals, no bad blood whatsoever." But me personally, I find that hard to believe. But anyway, so Cliff Kingsbury spent 4 years as the Cardinals head coach, one playoff appearance at 11-6, one wild card exit, uh, two losing seasons, and one 8-8 season. So he didn't have the worst record in Arizona. Um, he had his moments. Thank you for 2021, even though you completely shitted the bed at the end of the season. But he's now the offensive coordinator in Washington. So this game I definitely want to win, simply because of this reason, right? I want to win this game even more because of this ass. I'm just gonna excuse my language because of this guy coaching in Washington, right? This guy's the reason I had to sit back and watch this team for like 3 or 4 years, running screenplays on 3rd and long, running the ball on 3rd and long, not getting DeAndre Hopkins involved in games, not getting certain guys involved in games that are supposed to have big games on these terrible teams, this and that. He's the reason I had to sit back and watch the Cardinals start off the season so good, but then have a terrible downfall in the second half of the season, either missing the playoffs, either that, or getting eliminated in the first round by a disgusting Rams team. It's like this and that. Gosh, it was a lot of hell watching this guy coach our team, and he should not have even been a coach of our team. Steve Keim, our GM at the time, was a moron and thought this guy was going to change our team. And what was the result? Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury are now both gone. So at the end of the day, as much as I want to sit here and say Washington, they look like a good team, this and that, I want to beat the crap out of this team. And the only reason is because of this guy being the offensive coordinator, right? This guy wasted 4 years of my life hoping that this Cardinals team was finally going to turn it around and bring this team a Lombardi, and it resulted in absolutely nothing. So Cliff Kingsbury, while you may not have bad blood with us, we still have bad blood for you. So hopefully, and Kyler Murray hated you as well. So hopefully Kyler Murray can really have a career game on this team, right? Simply by the fact that this guy is the offensive coordinator in Washington. Um, but honestly, this game could go either way, right? Like I said, Commanders are coming off a great game. We're coming off a game that we were so close to winning. I do think, and this is crazy. It's crazy, guys, but I am predicting us to finally win a football game. I'm predicting us to beat the Commanders this week. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout or anything like that, but uh, I do think that we are going to win this game, right? Even though the Commanders came off a very good game. My score prediction for this game is going to be 27-23. Cardinals take the dub. So, and like I said, hopefully we could get Marvin involved a lot more because I'm so tired of the Malik Neighbors fans coming at me. But anyway, what's up, Taryn? How you doing, man? Great show the other day on Set Point. Kingsbury was only a head coach because he coached Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield, right? Only reason he was a head coach, and he didn't do anything. So that being said. So lastly, before we go into a quick break, I want to talk about how the Cardinals could be 3-0, maybe should be 3-0. Now, I know it's shoulda, woulda, coulda, but NFL officials, you guys are stupid, right? And notice how I didn't talk about this when I was going through the game the other day, or in the other segment. But, I already talked about week 1 against Buffalo where it should have been PI. But what was that against Detroit? Going into the 2-minute warning, I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but before the 2-minute warning, Jared Goff took a snap, he threw a pick 6 to Mac Wilson, and the referees had the audacity to overturn it and say that it was the 2-minute warning before he snapped the ball. These NFL officials are a joke, and I'm so tired of them, right? If it was the 2-minute warning before Jared Goff took the snap, why didn't you guys blow the whistle and say that it was the 2-minute warning? Why did you guys let the play continue? Like, why did you guys give all Arizona fans in that stadium their hopes up and thinking that we had just gotten a pick 6 and took the lead, right? These NFL officials annoy the crap out of me. And if something like this happens against Washington, it's like, gosh, it's so ridiculous. But honestly, I feel like we should be a 3-0 team right now, right? We should be a 3-0 team right now, right? If the refs had called that PI against Buffalo, we would have scored a touchdown to win the game. And if the refs had called that pick 6 against Detroit, the momentum would have changed. We could be 3-0 right now, right? And I'm not taking any credit away from the Lions because after that play, they still played good defense, right? They still played good defense. They still did their thing. They won the game. So I'm not taking any credit away from Detroit. But at the end of the day, the officials, after that pick 6 that they overturned, after they overturned it, the momentum clearly changed from that point on. Our offense couldn't do anything. Our defense did their part, but our offense could not move the ball down the field. It's like that call that the refs made really changed the momentum of that game for us. And it's really sad how the officials can't do their job. So, all right, I'm done with the Cardinals for now. Yep, that is rough, Aaron. But anyway, we're going to go into a quick break, guys. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks. Can this team just please make the playoffs? Please. Like, you guys were 3 games behind the Dodgers, and now you're most likely going to be missing the playoffs if you don't win this game against the Padres. So, when we get back, we'll be talking about our beloved Snakes in Arizona. Hopefully they can just make the playoffs, please. Please. Please make it. But anyway, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone on the iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to AZ Sports on the High Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Yep, guys, later today, go check out John's show, Carolina Cast, as he talks about probably his brutal Panthers. But hey, at least they won a game. And check out Fast Break as well. And just check out all of our shows, guys. Check out all of the shows that we have on here. We have a bunch of great shows, guys, so go check them out, as I keep on saying. But what's up, Spongy? Checking in from school. Yep. And what's up, Taryn? All right, gotta head back. Yep. Have a great day, man. If the D-backs miss the playoffs, which I'm gonna finally get to because I'm so sick and tired of these Arizona teams giving me false hope. All right, here we go. We made it. We made it to the final 3 games of the regular season. We made it. So the Diamondbacks are back at home, taking on the San Diego Padres, who are absolutely red hot right now. So why did we have to give this team at the end of the season? I don't know. But that's what the baseball gods did to us. So we're taking on the Padres for 3 games. It's in Arizona. So it's in Arizona. We got the home field advantage for this series. The Padres, on the other hand, they clinched the playoffs not too long ago. So they'll be playing October baseball. But there's a lot at stake here regarding both teams, right? So the Padres, they did lose to the Dodgers the other day, which the Dodgers officially clinched the division. Don't worry, they'll be first round exits again, or second round exits, whatever. But moving on from that trash team. So the Padres, I'm pretty sure they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Ever since the All-Star break, they've been a hot baseball team, right? We can't deny that. I'm pretty sure Yu Darvish is pitching against Merrill Kelly today. So that's today's game. I don't know who's pitching for the Padres the next 2 games, but I know for us, we got Eduardo Rodriguez and Jordan Montgomery. So those last 2 games are going to be hell, especially the Jordan Montgomery one. With Erod, it just depends on what kind of Erod you get from him, I guess. He's been kind of weird this season. But for Merrill Kelly, this game should be a little bit more winnable against Yu Darvish, who's coming back from a big injury that kept him out for a while. So hopefully we can really get to the Padres today at least. And if you guys look at the wild card, right? The Braves are taking on Kansas City today, who I'm pretty sure Kansas City is in the playoffs officially after the Twins losing to Miami. So coming into this series, the Padres, they don't really have much to play for, right? They're out of contention of winning the division for the small amount of chances they had left. They've already clinched the playoffs. They're most likely going to have home field advantage for the wild card. So it's like the Padres don't have that much to play for in this series, right? Ewing's right. All right. That's cool, Spongy. All right. So, but the Padres do have one thing to play for against us, and that is eliminating a division rival from the playoffs. Actually, no, 2 things. That, and a lot of people aren't talking about this, but I'll go ahead and say it. If the Diamondbacks can magically, somehow, some way, sweep the San Diego Padres, which is unlikely, but if they somehow sweep the Padres in Arizona this weekend, they will go past the Padres in the wild card and play for home field advantage in the wild card against either this team or the Mets or Braves, whoever gets in. So we have a lot to play for in this series. While the Padres don't have much to play for, we have a lot to play for. We have not clinched the playoff berth yet. Like a lot of Diamondbacks fans are celebrating right now like we're going to be playing October baseball. Well, it's not official yet. It's not official yet. So you guys need to stop celebrating because we still have a lot to play for. This Diamondbacks team lost 2 games to the Rockies not too long ago, right? To the Rockies. And then they lost they won 3 straight against Milwaukee. It was looking good. It was looking very good. And then we lose 2 to the San Francisco Giants. A team that isn't even going to be in the playoffs playing October baseball. We lost 2 in a row to San Francisco. This Diamondbacks team needs to get it together. All right. We're playing this is the most important series of the season. Saving the best for last. This is the most important series of the season, right? Our playoff hopes depend on how we play these next 3 games. And currently right now we are in the wild card, right? We're in the wild card. It's not like we're out right now. We're in the wild card. But we're only half a game in the wild card right now. Because the Atlanta Braves, despite all the injuries that they're facing, and you got to give the Braves credit, despite all the injuries that they're facing right now, they're still in contention of making the playoffs. So you got to give the Braves a little bit of credit where credit's due, right? They're taking on the Royals for, I think, 3 games or 2 games, and then they're taking on the Mets for the final 2 games because that series got rescheduled due to, I'm pretty sure it was storms in Atlanta or something like that. So they rescheduled that. So it's kind of interesting, right? The Braves have against the Royals team. The Royals haven't been playing that good lately, right? They lost, I think, 7 in a row at one point. But the Royals are still a playoff team. Hopefully, the Royals can do us a solid favor today. I know Royals fans hate us because they're still in their feelings that our pitcher hit Bobby Witt when we played him. So I know their fans still hate us because they're still butthurt about it. But Royals fans and Royals franchise, please just do us a solid. All right. Just in case we don't beat the Padres, okay? The Diamondbacks have been cold lately, especially their offense. They've been cold lately. I don't care how they played in their last game against the Giants. They played a crappy pitcher and they played a crappy bullpen, okay? I don't care how we looked in the finale against the Giants. You guys have to get it going against this Padres team. I don't know if the Padres are resting any of their starters. I highly doubt they will today because, like I said, if we somehow sweep the Padres, we'll be going ahead of them for second place in the division. So the Padres have the upper hand in this series, right? All they have to do for the most part is just win 1 game. That's all they really have to do, right? Which they probably will against Jordan Montgomery, honestly. Jordan Montgomery has been a walking L this season. And Eduardo Rodriguez, it just depends. Like I said, it depends on what kind of Eduardo Rodriguez you get from him, right? He's been kind of weird this season. He's won games, he's lost games. He's been mid, right? He's been a mid pitcher this season. So, but for Merrill Kelly today, as long as Merrill Kelly can hold the Padres to no more than 2 runs, I think we could get today's game. Hopefully we get today's game at least because if we get swept, you could kiss the season goodbye. Kiss the season goodbye. If we win 1 game, we just have to rely on the Braves losing I think 3 games, which is something that most likely won't happen, right? Like I said, the Royals have been struggling lately, but hopefully they can get it going for us. And they play the Mets too, and the Mets have been hot lately as well. So the Mets, can y'all do us a favor as well? I mean, gosh, we shouldn't even be asking these teams to do us favors right now. I mean, this Diamondbacks team was so good like a couple months ago, and now we're fighting for our lives right now to play October baseball like we did last year. So, and like I said, guys, I don't care who we play in the playoffs. I really don't care whether it's on the road or whether it's at home. I don't care who this team plays in the playoffs. Because they have proven that they can get to the World Series. They did it last year with a team filled with a bunch of 23-year-olds. I feel like this year we have a better team than we did last year. I really believe that. We have a better team than we had last year. It's just our pitchers took a slight downfall. Other than that, we have a very good team. We have the talent that we need. We have what it takes. I mean, we've already won more games this year than we did last year. Like I said, if our pitchers can get it together and our offense could stay consistent for another month, we could be seeing this team back in the World Series. We have what it takes. I mean, yeah, we've had a rough September, but at the end of the day, we had the same thing last year. We had a rough July, we had a rough August, we had a rough September. We still got into the postseason. I mean, sure, we had to rely on the Cubs losing to get there, but we still got in there. And what do? We proved that seeding does not matter in the MLB. We got to the World Series. So I really feel like this team has what it takes. I don't care what seed we are. I don't care who we play, whether it's the Padres, the Mets, the Braves, the Brewers again. I don't care. This team has what it takes to get it done. And I genuinely believe that if we get into the playoffs, if our pitching can get it together, we're going to get it done. All right. This is like the only Arizona team I have faith in. So hopefully they don't disappoint. But like I said, this team can definitely do it. They could definitely do it. They just got to show up, especially in this finale against the Padres. They have to show up big time. Anyway, what's up, Marcus? Marte needs to get me paid today with a home run. Hey, Marte's been killing it lately, all right? He's our MVP, all right? He's the real MVP, unlike that gambling fraud and golden boy in LA. Cold bats right now. Yep. Get the bats going. Get the offense going. Pitching needs to get it together. And we're a good team. That's how it is. So lastly, before we move on to our final topic of this show, Ryan Nelson and Alec Thomas are back from injury. So Ryan Nelson, who was our best pitcher since the All-Star break by far, he is back. He's not going to be pitching in this finale against the Padres. If we do make the playoffs, maybe we'll see him in the playoffs. Who knows? But Ryan Nelson is back. It's nice to see him back because he was by far our best pitcher since the All-Star break. It feels like he's really turned it around this season. He's been a shocker this season, too. It's been really shocking to see Ryan Nelson play the way he's been playing this season. It's been very nice. However, Alec Thomas, on the other hand, has had a struggling season, batting a little over 200. Nothing special. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't think he's on the active MLB roster right now. I think he's still in Reno. But if we do make the playoffs, expect to see Alec Thomas back in the lineup because Alec Thomas, he delivered a lot in the playoffs last year. Even though he had a rough regular season, he delivered big time in the playoffs last season. So let's hope that if we do make the playoffs, we get to see Alec Thomas a lot more because he had his big moments in the postseason, right? That home run against the Phillies, the home run against Milwaukee. I mean, he really showed up big in the playoffs last year. So hopefully he can keep it going. For hopefully what we'll be seeing in the playoffs this upcoming season. But wild card right now, like I said, Padres have already clinched the playoffs. Mets, Braves, and Diamondbacks are the only three teams that are fighting in the National League for the playoffs right now. Every other team is eliminated. Every other team is either eliminated or clinched a playoff spot. It's the Mets, Diamondbacks, and Braves that remain standing. Which team of those three is going to miss the playoffs? That's the big question. We're going to find that out when I come back on this episode next Friday. I don't have a specific date on when the playoffs start, but I'm pretty sure by then next Friday it'll be playoff baseball, right? So the Diamondbacks will either be eliminated next Friday or we'll be playing playoff baseball in October. And it'll be very nice to see this team in the playoffs again because I genuinely do believe we have what it takes. I really do. This team has what it takes. They just got to show up and show out. But like I said, Braves are taking on the Royals and Mets. I think the Mets. Who do they have? Hold on, let me check real quick. So I know the Mets are playing Atlanta at the end of the season. So they're playing Milwaukee today. Okay, so Milwaukee, a team that we could face in the wild card in the first round, a team that we could face because they are the 3rd seed right now, and we're the 6th seed. So if we get in the playoffs as the 6th seeded team, that is going to be the team that we face once again in the wild card, just like we did last year. And we beat Milwaukee recently 3 straight games. So that would be a good start for us. I feel like we have the upper hand. I feel like we match up better against Milwaukee than we do against any other team in the first round that we could face, right? Whether it's the Mets or Padres, whatever. Man, I just hope if we do make the playoffs, I hope we get the Dodgers again at some point. I would love it. But anyway, so I digress. So that is it for the Diamondbacks segment. So we're going to go into another quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns bringing back Frank Kaminsky on a training camp invite. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about ASU losing to Texas Tech the other day, falling to 3-1, and U of A taking on Utah tomorrow. So once again, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone on the iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be back shortly.
Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jen B, host of the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in live to the Show of the Land on Tuesdays, where we will cover the Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Guardians, and Monsters. We will also talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, Crew, Fury, and of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll also cover other colleges in the area like Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, Mount Union, John Carroll, Baldwin Wallace, Youngstown State, among others. So like I said, if you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in Tuesdays to the Show of the Land with Jen B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Yep, guys, go check out Taryn and Jen's shows that I just played. Not just their shows, guys, but everybody's shows. We actually recently just picked up a Georgia fan, so we have a Georgia show now. So make sure to go give him some support on their first episode, and make sure to go give everybody's show a check. Even if you're not a fan of those teams, guys, just go show support to their shows and just like up their streams and this and that, their shows this and that. So make sure to do that. But lastly, guys, we finally have some Phoenix Suns news. Gosh, it feels like I haven't been talking about the Suns in like forever, but we finally have some Phoenix Suns news. It's not that big of news, but hey, something is better than nothing. So the Phoenix Suns are bringing back a familiar face in Frank Kaminsky. So Frank Kaminsky was a fan favorite in Arizona or in Phoenix. Well, yeah, Arizona. He was a fan favorite. He didn't really play a lot, but he was a fan favorite for the most part. And they're bringing him back on a training camp invite, so he's not officially on the team or anything like that. But it's going to be nice to see if he does make the roster or not. Like I said, the Phoenix Suns are pretty much done on making moves, or at least in my opinion, and it's proven they haven't made any moves recently. They pretty much have the team that they want this season. Um, if Frank Kaminsky does make the roster, hey, we had another big man to this team in case Nurkic has a terrible season like he did last year. So it's pretty nice to see a familiar face back here in Phoenix, and it's going to be nice to see if hopefully if he makes the roster or not. I will say though, this Suns team, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it while we're on the topic of the Phoenix Suns, because I know I haven't talked about them a lot lately. Like I keep on saying, if they're going to win, go out there and get it done. All right. I've put so much faith in the Suns team. They should have won a damn trophy by now, and they haven't done it. So this season, do whatever it takes. They're bringing in players. They're bringing in players to see which is the best fit for them. And Frank Kaminsky, for the small amount of time that he played here in Phoenix, I mean, we remember, even though we lost in the finals, but when Ayton was in foul trouble, he went in there and he locked up Giannis for a little bit. So, hey, there's that to remember by, and hopefully he can provide that spark in case we need it. So, with Frank Kaminsky back, it's going to be interesting. Hold up, just adding something. But yeah, so Frank Kaminsky's back in Phoenix. So even though it is technically Phoenix Suns related, okay. Even though it doesn't really have a lot to do with the players or anything like that. So if you're a Valley boy like me or a Valley fan, this and that, if you grew up in Phoenix, if you have been supporting Arizona teams your whole life, you were upset by this news, right? So Suns play-by-play announcer Al McCoy peacefully passed away at 91 years old. He was the Phoenix Suns play-by-play and radio announcer for over 50 years, and this really sucks. I mean, ever since I was a kid, me and my dad, we will listen to the radio sometimes when we couldn't watch a Suns game on TV, this and that, when we were busy doing other stuff. And one of the biggest trademarks in Phoenix was the whole Shazam call by Al McCoy. So that's something to live off of. And it sucks. I mean, he Al McCoy had just retired last season, right? He was the play-by-play announcer up until his 90s. Like it was crazy how he was able to do it for that long. But he really created some good memories in Phoenix, and it 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 sucks the Suns couldn't win a title for as long as he was the play-by-play announcer, and it sucks that he couldn't see the Suns win a title. But hey, this year go win a title for him, right? Go win a title for once in your life and do it for Al McCoy, right? Go do it for him. And it's kind of interesting. One of I forgot who it was. I think it was either Charles Barkley or Steve Nash, but they came out and said that the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time. It wasn't Barkley, it wasn't Nash, it wasn't Booker, it was Al McCoy, and I found that kind of interesting and kind of true in some way, right? Even though he wasn't a player, still the best Sun of all time. He was the best he was the best in Arizona to ever do a play-by-play or radio call announcing, right? So at 91 years old, Al McCoy peacefully passes away. Rest in peace, rest in paradise, man, and Shazam for the rest of my life, for the rest of everyone's lives. Rest in peace. All right. So, and I got that out of the way. Moving on to college football before we wrap up this episode. So, like I predicted last week, ASU fell back into reality and lost 30-22 against Texas Tech. It was a competitive game. I mean, we didn't get blown out like I thought we would, but it was a competitive game, and unfortunately, we fell short to Texas Tech, and both teams are now 3-1. So we're taking on the Kansas Jayhawks next game. So hopefully we could just bounce back. I mean, man, Sam Levitt, just have a better game for God's sake. Gosh, that's all I can really say. But like I predicted, ASU lost against Texas Tech, and it sucks. It would have been nice to go 4-0, but hey, it was nice to be undefeated while we were. We were 3-0 and we were undefeated for 3 weeks. So hey, I'll take it. But anyway, so let me see. So yeah, like I said, we're taking on the Kansas Jayhawks this week. So it's going to be an interesting game, right? Kansas and ASU, it could go either way. Like like I always say, like I feel like I always say that about all my teams. It could go either way. It could go either way. But I do feel like we will bounce back against Kansas. So let's get it going. All right, and then U of A takes on Utah, who's ranked 12th, I believe. So U of A, I guess you know what it's like to not be ranked anymore, huh? You guys had a terrible season. I don't care what your record says. I don't care. You're 2-1. I don't give a shit. Okay, you guys have had a terrible season. Struggling against New Mexico, struggling against NAU, and then when you finally played a real team, you got your ass kicked. So, I think U of A, or no, not U of A. I think Utah is going to beat the living daylights out of this team. We saw how U of A played against a ranked team last game, and it didn't work out to their favor. I think Utah's better than Kansas State. So at the end of the day, U of A, it's not going to be pretty for you. I wouldn't be shocked if Utah won by like 30, 35, 40 points or something like that. But it is what it is. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, guys. Man, this was a great morning show. I got to say, a great morning show. I had to wake up very early today and just to get ready for something personal I had to do today. So I had to move my show to this morning. But next week, we should be right back at it for 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys weren't able to catch my show this morning, make sure to catch my shows into the future and just, give my show some support if you weren't able to make it today. And make sure to check out the other shows that we have, guys. But with that being said, this has been the AZ Sports Zone, episode 11 on the AZ Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, guys, I'm your host, Alden K. We will be back at it next Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time to talk about the Arizona Cardinals post game against the Commanders. Hopefully we win that damn game. We'll be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks. By then, we will either be eliminated or we will be playing October baseball, so stay tuned for that. And then we'll also be talking about college football once again. And then hopefully some Phoenix news, Phoenix Suns news comes out later. We'll see what happens regarding all these teams. But right now, especially for the Cardinals and Diamondbacks, it is not looking good. So you may see me on a bad day next Friday. You may see me ranting a lot next Friday. It just depends on how this damn team responds to this episode that I had just spoken. So once again, guys, every Friday, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time going forward, we will be live. You guys already know what time it will be. AZ Sports Zone, episode 12, next Friday, 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 11. And if you weren't, make sure to rewatch this episode, give your thoughts on it. Make sure to follow my Twitter accounts, guys. Like I said, I give updates every single team, right? So make sure to check it out. And sub up to my YouTube channel as well, Always Arizona Sports, just past 600 subscribers, guys. I will be live most likely for this Sunday against the Commanders, so make sure to get my rants in. But once again, guys, I thank you guys for swinging by, and I will see you guys next Friday. Have a great weekend, and peace.